we know exactly where this team is going. Absolutely nowhere. So now it's time for me to talk about the local team over here, one of the local teams, and that's going to be the LA. Need to go back to Orange County until you want to become a good football team again, Rams. But they have the richest owner in sports, so it happens. You know what I mean? So you get to live in a great location, but you playing real good Orange County football right now. So it would be much better if you went back over to the Big A. But you own the stadium, so you can do what you want. But this team was 5-12 last year. Very surprising of a Rams team. And you know what? The Rams were an absolute struggle fest because at one point I think they were 4-2 to start the year off. They were kind of rolling the first 6 weeks of the season. They were back. They were looking like the defending champs. They were having some good moments and everything like that. And then boom, they just started being cooked week in and week out, and wound up going 1-10 on the way out. And that was absolutely terrible, Jeff. Let's keep it real. That's absolutely pathetic for a team that's coming fresh off of a Super Bowl. But it was expected because Matt Stafford was your quarterback. Matt Stafford is an elderly person in the NFL now. He's a senior citizen, and he's a guy who's one of the biggest liabilities that you can have on any team in the NFL right now because he has a bad back, and I think he has a bad neck as well too. Bad shoulder, bad leg. All these things do not fit a team that's trying to keep being a successful team. I feel like the Rams know they shot themselves in the foot when they traded Jared Goff, because at the end of the day, Jared Goff would have won the Super Bowl with that same exact team that Matt Stafford did, and they probably would have never made the game that as close as Matt Stafford made that game. Because Matt Stafford, when you look at him historically, Matt Stafford is a great stat quarterback, but when it comes to actually being a winner, he's below average in reality. He had a great roster. Let's keep it real. You're going to have Von Miller, a future Hall of Famer. Believe it or not, even though he's a big diva and everything like that, OBJ is going to get consideration for the Hall of Fame. So those are two names that I'm throwing out there right now. Cooper Kupp had himself one of the more legendary seasons for a wide receiver when you did win that championship. So there was a lot of things that went correct. And of course, one of the best players to ever step on a football field, Aaron Donald. So you had a lot of things going in the right direction for your team. Then when everybody got hurt, and then you really saw the way that this roster set up, because you spent so much money on all these aging players, it's came back to bite you in the butt because you gave up assets to get players that aren't even on the roster anymore. And this became a big burden on this team. Now they got a bunch of young puppies out there as their backups, and it just doesn't look good for the Rams moving forward. And then you have the opportunity to get yourself a really good future signal caller, and you decided to go get a guy who's probably going to be an offensive coordinator in the next 4 years in Stetson Bennett. I mean, that's the equivalent of drafting the OC from the Chargers right now. Same type of situation. Guy was an awesome 8-year college quarterback and won big championship games and all that stuff. And now he can come over and be a great clipboard holder, but leading your team back to relevancy, that's not going to happen. So pretty much the Rams right now, I'm going to just go ahead and keep it real. They're cooked. Okay. And they are a team, I feel like, Kroenke ain't mad now because he got his Super Bowl ring and all that good stuff. And Denver kind of distracted him with winning the NBA Finals as well, too. And then that other team he has as well, too, the Avalanche, they win a title. And damn, even his lacrosse team won a title. So he got so many championships, it might block the view of the mediocrity that's going to be on the field with the Rams. But the Rams are his biggest prize. They are in his best market. And he's not going to be accepting just losing for the next 5 years. It's not going to happen. So I totally feel that right now, Sean McVay is not on the hot seat, but he'll soon be getting there if they come out struggling to start the season where they're getting blown out in games. And if they're trying and losing by a couple points, then it won't be that big of a deal because you understand what you have. But if they start getting blown out, he's going to start getting pressed by the owner. Jeff, what are your thoughts on the Rams? I know I said a lot, but go ahead.
You're only as good as the top. And go back to the Super Bowl. Yeah, you didn't mention a running back that I was dear to for a while in the fantasy game, Todd Gurley, who had the flashes for a while. It was the perfect storm for them. And then the hangover. Now, after that year, though, Sean McVay had an opportunity to jump ship and go to Amazon for $18 million a year and get paid $1 million a year to do the Thursday night games. Was Stafford going to retire? Was Donald going to retire? And they brought the band back. Von Miller leaves, goes to Buffalo. They sold off some of the pieces, and it was a year in disarray. And if you looked at them this preseason, it's just looks like they're playing it back. And this is a team that could probably get off to a slow start and then maybe sell off whatever pieces they do have left. I don't think McVay's heart's in it. I don't think Stafford's heart's in it. The revolving door of Cam Akers, I mean, they traded him. He comes back. Is Cooper Kupp fully healthy? That's the only player technically for high stakes or fantasy purposes going in the first round. A couple other guys, Van Jefferson and a few others that are getting drafted. But my point is their defense is putrid. They'll be just sticking their head above the Arizona Cardinals, I think. That's why the West is comical this year, because it is a two-man race. But, and it's a big but, if we do get some Geno regression, it could be something where the Niners run away and hide, and they got quarterback issues too. But that 5-12 that they had last year, you know what? I can't see them winning 6 or 7 games this year either. So another bad year, and it will be interesting to see what McVay does. I think this will be Stafford's last year, and I don't even think Stafford makes it through the full year, Pups.
Yeah, I think that Stafford honestly is absolutely cooked. And when you look at what their odds are going into this year, 10-1, over under 6.5, there's not expectations for the Rams this year. The expectation is to be a bad team this year, and you're not going to have a first rounder next year again. So you're going to be kind of stuck. So if you can figure out a way to get the assets that you need during the season, because that's the type of team the Rams have to become this year. They have to look at who they have at the top of the board that they can move so they can get some assets back. I know Aaron Donald's untradeable, and I know possibly Stafford's untradeable because nobody wants him. But the thing is, I know that you got guys like Cam Akers who can bring you some value. You got a guy like Cooper Kupp. I know it sounds crazy now, but he can bring you some value as well too. Cooper Kupp is a guy that it could be on the twilight of his career, but nobody knows that yet. And people will still be in the Cooper Kupp business if he does become available sometime mid-season. So that's something that they could work on to try to get themselves back into the first round to possibly get that quarterback. But I say if you still have a second round pick, you still got the possibility of still getting yourself a pretty good quarterback, because this is a very deep quarterback class going into this year's draft. So you don't have to worry about getting the first round golden boy. You can wind up getting yourself the Derek Carr's, Russell Wilson's in the second, third round, guys that are going to be good starters for you moving forward. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of, and then the Rams do have the look of a team that can actually go ahead and have a key free agent quarterback come into their team because it's Los Angeles. It's SoFi Stadium. It's an attractive situation. And, McVay is seen as an offensive savant somewhat. So pretty much that he can bring in anybody he wants if they want to buy into the Rams program. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it shakes out. But 10-1, some nice odds on a team that is 2 years removed from a Super Bowl. And really, we don't know who the hell they're going to be. Like, really, we don't. You know what I mean? But we got a good idea. And if I think like they're going to be cooked, then I think I'm on to something, because usually when I say an LA team is going to be bad, they're going to be bad. It's never not. I've never not been wrong about